Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and this is a doormat. And in a few minutes, you will find out why this beat-up old doormat holds the answer to getting your ex back into your arms. You'll uncover powerful secrets about getting him back simply by watching this presentation today to the very end. Tips like, one small thing you need to stop doing right now that will kill the primal desire he still has for you. How to take control of your emotions and immediately feel better about your breakup, right here, right now. And the principle of magnetic attraction, that most women have no idea is the driving force behind all successful attempts to get back together. I don't know how much longer I'll have this presentation online, or how long it will be free of charge. So watch this right now while you still can. You may think you've tried it all when it comes to getting your man back. There are a seemingly endless supply of opinions, methods, and ideas on how to best get his attention. Well, today you're in luck. A few of the quick tips I'll be giving you today will get you started within minutes on the path to feeling better and attracting him right back into your arms. This will not only renew your hope, it will change the way you look at your relationship forever. Remember, I'm about to share my most powerful secrets with you today, and even more little-known tips to put you squarely back on his mind. First, I want to share a really personal and completely embarrassing story with you. You'll see why my mom cringed at the very suggestion I was going to tell this humiliating story in about a minute, so stay with me. Deal? I remember this as if it were yesterday, September 10th, 2010. A week before, my boyfriend had told me it was over between us, and I felt as devastated and gloomy as the cloudy, rainy day outside my window. I was wearing a faded pair of red track shorts and a tattered, scruffy old sweatshirt that had holes in it. My hair was messily piled on top of my head, and the eyeliner I had carefully applied was now dripping down my cheeks. I couldn't have been more alone in my shabby apartment. I felt like my life would never be the same again. Frankly, that day was the rawest, most emotional point in my life. Or so I thought. But it led me to where I am today, experiencing the amazing relationship of my dreams. Still, it took this one event, something so embarrassing and life-altering, to really force me to change, and take me from tear-stained and confused to back into a relationship with someone who I couldn't live without. I can't believe I did this, but I decided that it just couldn't really be over between us, so I hatched a plan. I would show him how much I still cared. I clung to the vain hope that he would remember how great we were together. And then I did it. I got in my beat-up Chevy Cobalt and sped over to the house he shared with 2 roommates. When I got there, his car was parked in the driveway. I rang the doorbell, but no answer. I started to sob so loudly that tears clouded my vision. I decided he must not be able to hear me. I began pounding on his door like a firefighter trying to rescue a baby. And after what felt like an eternity of me sobbing and pounding and sobbing, it happened. The doorknob turned slowly and he opened the door just a crack. I had hoped that he would see me and remember all of the amazing times we had spent together. I was convinced that just like in a fairy tale, the moment he saw me, a tsunami of love I knew he had for me would come flooding back. Before I could get a word out, he told me calmly that I had been banging on the door for an hour and a half. And if I didn't leave, he was going to call the police. I howled, "Please, I miss you," in between sobs. He told me coldly that I had 2 minutes to leave before he was calling the cops, and he shut the door. Suddenly my legs went weak and jello-y, and I collapsed onto the filthy, worn, flat-out unwelcoming doormat below my feet. For a few minutes I stared blankly at that scummy, faded doormat. At that moment I was struck by the realization that I was acting with no more self-respect than that tired old piece of nylon. I was completely out of control. It was as if I had been possessed by a pathetic, masochistic demon with zero self-respect. I felt so humiliated and powerless. It was truly one of the biggest blows I have ever experienced. I finally got up and sat in my car for a few more minutes, wiping off the tears that had made my sweatshirt soggy. And the worst part was, I completely blamed myself for everything. I decided at that very moment to make a change that would affect my life forever. I will turn the tables and make him grovel at my feet come hell or high water. I swore I'd read 100 books on relationships and scour the internet, psychology research journals, and pick the brains of the most well-known relationship experts to discover the secrets to crawling inside a man's head and bringing him back. I ended up discovering exactly what to do to get him back without him even suspecting what had hit him. After I got him back, my friend Amy came to me heartbroken. She had just been dealt the devastating blow that her relationship with her boyfriend Zach seemed to be over. She wanted to know exactly what I had done a few months ago with my ex. Reluctantly, I told her the story about the doormat that I just told you. Then I explained that I had done a lot of research and put together a little recipe for getting a guy back. I was reluctant to share it with her because I was worried it might not work. But Amy was an excellent student, and sure enough, within days, Zach practically beat Amy's door down, unable to think of anyone except her. You see, in the time they had been apart, Zach had been playing the field and was dating other women. However, once Amy started creating pattern shifts with Zach, he could not escape the realization that he had made a terrible mistake. Then, just like that, Zach broke it off with everyone else he was seeing and was driven to confess to Amy that she would always have a lock on his heart. Then, one day, Amy texted out of the blue to show me the giant rock Zach had given her. I was thrilled for her and sent her my congratulations. Amy said thank you. Then, to my surprise, she said, "Without you, this never would have happened." My jaw dropped. I sure didn't expect her to say that, but she had, and it hung there in the silence between us. Then, even more shockingly, Amy said, "You have a duty to share this. You can't keep this a secret anymore. Think about all of the women out there who are hurting right now because they let him go." I stammered. "You could change everything," Amy said. After a few drinks and a lot more coaxing, Amy convinced me that I needed to spill everything. That's why today I'm going to share some of these secrets with you. Keep in mind that even though today I've been very successful helping women like you get their ex back, I'm exactly like you are in so many ways. I just happen to figure out a really simple step-by-step formula for average women like you and me to see massive results when it comes to attracting your guy back. Imagine having him back safely and happily in your arms again, feeling his tender, loving touch and having him look at you with that amazing look of love. Being able to relax, knowing that he is yours forever. Finally, even though this sounds unbelievable, your ex will be overwhelmed with desire and unable to resist you anymore. You will be able to relax, safe in the knowledge that he has chosen you, and only you, to create a future with. This is the same formula I've used myself, and teach women like you to ensure that your ex can't stop thinking about you. And it's the same exact formula I'll be sharing with you today, so you can finally live the happy life you once shared. I'll share the specifics with you in a moment. First, I feel compelled to be honest with you and let you know about the real and serious problem you face right now. This is the hidden foe, the real villain behind why most women fail to attract their guys back, and why it's not your fault. The real problem is the fact that you've been lied to for years, and these lies are keeping you from having happy, solid relationships. You may have heard, or perhaps even believed like I did, that you have to prove your love in order to get your ex back, yet, you know something? That's not even close to the truth. If you're one of the millions of women who have fallen victim to this lie, then you need to decide right now to accept the truth, because if you don't, no matter how strong and determined you are, you'll end up driving him away for good, slamming the door on his feelings for you forever. Listen, this is not what I desire for you, and this is the reason your struggle with your relationship is not your fault. Sometimes we tend to blame ourselves like I did, but I'm asking you not to do that. Instead, blame the way we've been brainwashed by Hollywood's fantasy relationships. After all, almost since you've been alive, you've been bombarded with false, misleading ideas about what makes love work, from romance movies, popular culture, and even harmless-seeming cartoons. Hollywood depends on you watching their movies, returning again and again, addicted to their fake romance world. All of that information about love is enough to confuse the smartest woman alive, and it confused me for years. Remember, that's how I ended up miserable and sobbing on my ex's doorstep. The truth is that you should never rely upon Hollywood's fantasy misconceptions about what happens during breakups, or how to win back the love you deserve. Because striving to prove your love just causes him to subconsciously lose all of his respect for you. Now that you know the problem, that your success with true love has been held back for years due to common misconceptions, Let's dive right into the specific 3 tips I need to share with you today. Without these tips, getting him back will be hit or miss, yet these simple strategies are a clear roadmap to attracting him back. And by far the most important tip is the principle of magnetic attraction, and I'll be sharing this top secret principle last, so keep watching all the way through to the end. The first thing I have to warn you to do is avoid trying to negotiate with your ex about the breakup. Most women believe that trying to convince their ex of their feelings logically will make him realize that breaking up is a huge mistake. However, this isn't true. From today on, unless you avoid making a big emotional display, you're going to make it nearly impossible to slip under his radar and awaken his primal desire for you. It may sound too simple to work, but first, what I want you to do is send him a little note about how you think the breakup is actually a good idea. This works no matter how long it's been since the breakup, so don't worry. Just sending this deceptively simple-seeming, covert message will create a powerful shift in the way that you have been communicating with him. Here's what you do.